Hello Motor Rider World fans and welcome to Paddock Talk, talking MotoGP from Misano on Saturday. Slightly cooler Saturday for most part of the day, but the sun certainly did come out right at the end of the day after all the racing was done, and it was about 6 o'clock at night. It was beautiful sunshine, and you had to get the suntan cream out once again. So strange in terms of weather. Even when it did start to drizzle, it was a slight kind of spit. It wasn't really, couldn't even really call it rain, but it certainly was a spit, and it was so humid that I don't know how wet the track or anything actually got, but it certainly did put a little bit of doubt and caution in the riders' minds, and it made for a slightly exciting qualifying two, certainly at the start of it when everyone went out on wets, and it was who was going to risk the most in that session. And of course, in those kind of conditions, there's only one man for it, and it is Jack Miller, the factory Ducati rider, on pole position. A very popular pole position, very loved rider is our Jack Miller, and just continuing this fantastic work that he's doing on the Ducati since he was fired basically from the team, and moving onwards to KTM. We know that. So Jack Miller just continuing his form, looks happy, looks like he's really enjoying his riding and putting a great performance out on track. Just looks comfortable, looks spot on, looks precise, looks great in the braking zone, looks great under acceleration, just really looks good, and he's looked good the whole weekend. So Jack Miller, at this kind of track where, especially in a session like that where the Ducatis are able to run the soft rear, soft front combination, you're just not going to stop them. It was really a Ducati fest in that qualifying session. It was always going to be a Ducati fest. Jack Miller in pole position. We know Pecco was actually second, but with his 3 grid penalty, moves him down to 5th. But Jack ahead of Anaya. Anaya is a very good call for the win as well. He's just looked, also precise, had the hammer down. He just looks like this constant beast, as that's his nickname in the paddock and was nickname in the championship. And yeah, he's going to be good. He's going to look very good for certainly a top 3, but certainly for that victory. We know how good he is at Misano. We saw what he did last year, and again, just a very happy, smiley rider. Signed his Ducati contract, taking the ride away from Jack Miller, the man who out-qualified him. And he's ready to prove to everyone why he is the next Ducati man, potentially to take the number 1 spot from Pecco in that team. And it's going to be so interesting to see how that plays out, because while Jack played the perfect teammate in the factory Ducati team, I don't think Anaya is going to be as accommodating to play second fiddle to Pecco Bagnaia. So that's going to be a great rivalry there between the two Ducati riders. But anyway, great qualifying there. And then Marco Bezzecchi is just carrying on this. He really has just taken to MotoGP and is loving life on that GP21 machine in the VR46 Muni team in front of his home fans in 3rd place qualifying. Got bumped up because of Pecco, but on the front row of the grid, the rookie rider, and just continuing this fantastic form. And yeah, why not? Why not? Why won't we see Marco Bezzecchi on the podium at Misano, the home of VR46 Academy? Would be fantastic. So let's see how that plays out. Maverick Vinales breaking up the Ducati party, but still on his Italian motorcycle there. Maverick has looked good all weekend as well. He's got this, he's blending his riding style into that Aprilia now. And again, just this happy man in the paddock, just smiling, fan-friendly, looks great with the team. And that's a fast Maverick Vinales. And his riding style out on track is, yes, he breaks so deep. And it's just, he's got the skill of, it's very much similar to Fabio Quartararo. They're able to brake late and just keep the bike as upright as possible on the brakes for as long as possible before they've got to turn in. And it's a skill, because especially around a very narrow track, and this track is so narrow. I've been here before World Ducati Week 2017, but never really took note of, just taking in the occasion, wasn't really taking note of the track and that. But watching these MotoGP bikes go around here just makes it look like a goat kart track. And there really is, especially through the fast right-handers at the back section of the track, really is so narrow. We sometimes forget that the track was actually built to go the other way around, and that's how they started it in 500 GPs. Sadly, when Wayne Rainey crashed and paralyzed himself. But they turned the track around, so now, like a lot of the corners, when you go into them, they kind of close on the exit because they're actually built for the other way. So the track is so narrow, and these MotoGP bikes really did highlight it. And speaking to Daz, Brad, and a couple of other riders, they say, really it's just very narrow. But Maverick and Quartararo are just able to get the best out of that late braking on the nose and then throw it in at the last minute, because your initial reaction at a narrow track is brake and then get the bike turned into the corner so you don't miss that apex. But Fabio and Maverick are certainly watching out on track, just have that knack and that skill of just keeping it on its nose for as long as possible before throwing it in. And Maverick's going to be a good shot, certainly for the podium. I don't see, especially if he can run that soft rear tire, which we know he loves to run. And that really does put him in the pound seat to challenge those Ducatis for the podium. So let's hope that Aprilia can mix it up with those Ducatis. Pecco is in 5th place, despite being the second fastest rider in Q2. Finds himself in 5th. Damage limitations there with that 3 grid spot penalty. Yeah, he's going to get a start, and he's going to be right up there in the mix. If that hammer comes down again, as it has the last couple of races, yeah, potentially see Pecco Bagnaia pick up another victory and extend his winning streak and put more and pile more pressure on Fabio Quartararo and Yamaha. The script seems to be playing out same as last year, where Fabio and Yamaha have a great start to the year, and then second half of the season is Pecco and Ducati. Once they sort themselves out and they get the base feel that they like in their motorbike, they are untouchable. So Pecco coming from 5th, and he's got some Ducati reinforcements. Fabio's got to get through a lot of Ducatis, and that's kind of Ducati's plan. Well, if we can't beat Fabio with one rider, we're going to force him to get through 8 of the things. So it's going to be a very interesting race. Zarco is in 6th place. Then it's Marini. Then it's Fabio Quartararo in 8th place. So he's got to try and get past. We know Fabio's not afraid to throw it in. Look what he did to Jack Miller in Austria. But, as I just said now, a very tight line, trying to pass very fast Ducatis that shoot out of the corners. Look what happened to a flustered Fabio Quartararo in Assen, where he had to try and make moves on very fast Italian bikes. Got it wrong there. He's going to have to play his cards right. We know he's going to ride that bike well over 100%. That's just what he does. How's he going to pick and choose his moves, especially after Assen, what happened there, knowing that Pecco is just in this dominant mood, knowing that, he can't pull these moves because he'll get penalties from Dorna. There's a lot of pressure on Fabio Quartararo this weekend, starting in 8th position, not ideal. So let's see how the world champion handles it. It's not going to be easy. Aleix Espargaro behind him. Then it's Miguel Oliveira on the KTM. Good qualifying there for him in 10th place. He's had a good weekend so far. Good to see him again. Aprilia, future done, sealed and signed, sealed and delivered. Looking happy and riding happy and showing in the results. It's the best we've seen from Miguel for a very, very long time. Alex Rins on the Suzuki in 12th, and then Brad Binder in 15th. Got caught out in Q1 by the rain that just started to come down. So I don't think it was a true reflection on Brad's. They certainly are going up and down, left and right with setup, trying a lot of new components, trying a lot of new things. And so I don't think it's a true reflection. Not 100% happy, but typical Brad, we're struggling with this, but we've got this. And so just mentally staying positive and going to bring it on Sunday. Looked at the weather just before I came on to this. It is Sunday morning. Sorry, this is late. Just had a very busy night last night, which I'll get to now. But yeah, Brad is meticulous. Just, find points. His problem is coming from 15th to pass around Misano is not easy, but we know, Brad can turn a very narrow track into a wide track at times and put that KTM where he wants it. So, but the troubles still are there. Listen, let's not kid it. He is the Sunday man, and we know he's going to get the best out of a Sunday. But the struggles are still there that they're going to have to sort out. KTM have sent a couple of bikes to F1 headquarters now for F1 engineers to go through aero and stuff. Big news from the paddock this weekend is that they are Bastianini's crew chief. I can never remember his name, proper Italian name. But anyway, he was Dovi's crew chief for all those good years at Ducati. He's Bastianini's crew chief. So we know that he is one of, Ducati's finest in terms of technical support, and that he looks like he will be making the move across to KTM next year as a technical director, or potentially Jack Miller's crew chief, which I think is a brilliant move. You know, the KTM already headhunted Guidotti from Ducati. Now they're taking another one of their key assets. So, you know, smart. You've got to spend the money if you want the success. And it makes sense, you know, bringing Jack Miller across with all that vital Ducati information and then trying to translate it to, you know, a KTM guy that doesn't know much. It'll work, but it's not as effective as bringing an Italian guy and letting Jack relate that information to a guy that knows Ducati inside out and then filtering it in through the KTM system. So certainly KTM are trying with the F1 technical support now. They are trying because they know next year is such a big year for them. Certainly if they want to keep hold of Brad Binder or Jack Miller or invite bigger names to come in the future, they've got to start doing something. They've got to start showing a more consistent package. So yeah, let's see. But the Sunday man will certainly come out, but I think it's going to be a tough race for him from 15th place. Darren in 21st, again, got caught out with the weather, but made more improvements again. It's just improved with every single lap. Is struggling with front end feel. The front end's just pushing. Stability is a big problem. I can see it out on track through the fast corners. His bike is nowhere near as stable as some of the other bikes. So it's just this, you know, this lack of time and having to almost rush things with setup. You know, instead of just going out and riding the bike and doing laps, you're having to think about setup for race day, and it's very hard. It's very hard for Darren, but I'm extremely proud of him. He's smiling despite everything that's happened with, you know, not having a ride for next year in MotoGP or in Moto2 at the moment. Everything's up in the air. Darren's keeping his head, staying positive, got that smile on, and just going out and enjoying his motorcycle. And I'm very proud of him because it's not been an easy season. Didn't start off well with all the negative energy that was thrown his way from the Foggia incident at Portimao into MotoGP, and how could you take him from Moto3 to MotoGP, and all the riders saying, oh, he's going to be dangerous, and you know, the journalists just hammering him down. I'm very proud of Darren Binder. Very, very proud of him, and I'm proud to be in his corner, and I hope he has a great race in Misano and just a great end to the season, because he thoroughly deserves it. He's put in the hard work. The glimpses there, he's proven he's a fast motorcycle rider. He's proven that he can run in the MotoGP class. So I really hope he has a good weekend. Just a couple of notes then. One big question that a lot of people ask me is about this silver painted front wheel that a lot of riders are running. Brad Binder is certainly riding it. So what had happened is last year in World Superbikes, they kind of started introducing it, the factory Ducati team, with front tires and that overheating. They seem to have found that just running the Oz magnesium wheels with no coat of paint, so no black coat of paint, white, pink, yellow, purple, whatever, no coat of paint, just helps disperse the heat of the front tire. So it doesn't overheat the front tires much, and it just kind of disperses that heat a little bit more. So basically why they run those silver front wheels is just unpainted magnesium front wheel to help with overheating of front tires. So that is answering a lot of people's questions with regards to that. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. I've got to get changed now and get to the track. As I said, it was a late night last night because Emotional got invited to Dovi's kind of send-off from the RNF team. So Dovi invited a couple of guests, all his close mates, friends and family, and people that have supported him through his career. And luckily I was enough to be there, and it was awesome. It was emotional. Dovi, you know, got teared up, got a lot of great messages from the life of Jeffrey Hurlings, MX rider, Valentino Rossi, Mark Marquez, who called him a bastard for pushing him so much. That was a great message. Cal Crutchlow, who said, you know, thanks for bringing me out of retirement to replace you for the rest of the year, you bastard, type thing as well. So that was great to be a part of, and it was an emotional night for sure. Dovi is one of the greats. There's no doubt about it. It's a pity his career has ended the way it has, you know, but certainly doesn't cast a shadow over a fantastic man and a fantastic rider. And it was an honor to be a part of that last night, and to see all the farewells from very big names. When you have the likes of Rossi, Mark Marquez, all the MotoGP riders, Darren was thrown in there, and then, like I said, Jeffrey Hurlings, Tony Cairoli, you know, those guys don't just send messages to just any normal person or athlete. So, grazie Dovi, well done, and thank you for all the great memories, and just go and enjoy your final race. And then after that, it was off to a Cressini racing party on the beach here in Riccione. Also just great to experience that as well. But yeah, got home nice and late, and nice early start to the morning, and it's time to get myself ready and off to the Misano track, where hopefully it'll be a nice sunshining day and we're going to see spectacular MotoGP racing.